Chapter 3b. Sarah. My brother, he's grown accustomed to this place. I'm not sure if that's a good or bad thing. Something I guess you just come to expect. I kind of wish that he wasn't attached to this place. It houses a very dark and very sinister truth. I just hope he continues to understand that the world we live in is not the one that I want him to live in. I'm still trying to figure out a way to set him free. If anything, he needs to live and I need to die. I would like to go with him, but I know that Dalen would not let this happen. My father is too stubborn. He would either want one of us to die or both of us to die. And right now I kind of choose the former. I went to his room to check up on him. It had been a few days since I last spoke. And by spoke, I mean he listened and I talked and he didn't say anything back. That's one thing that bugs me about him. He's never said a single word. Not once. Not to me, not to Dalen, not to anyone. And it drives me insane. I want to understand him. I really do. I want him to know that I am his sister and that I want him safe. But right now I'm currently dealing with the threat of trying just to get out of this castle alive. But if he chooses to talk to me in his own time, I guess that's the answer I'm going to have to accept. He was different, for lack of a better word. All my other siblings, they spoke on their first day. But not him. I'm not sure if he was just built different, or if he just enjoyed it. If he enjoyed the silence, and he enjoyed tormenting me. Maybe he did get something from Father. I can't say. When I went into his room, I saw him leaning on the windowsill. Something I didn't expect him to do. It's just, this is getting annoying. There's so much about him I don't understand, and so little I want to understand. I don't ask for much from him. I just want him to say one word. I want him to say my name. To prove that he has gotten this far. That he is finally accepting me as his sister. I don't know anymore. I'm trying so hard not to just be angry with him. The sun arose, and his skin touched the sun ray. And he was in agonizing pain, crawled into the shadows. I knew exactly what was going on. I walked over to him and held out my hand and said, "It's okay. It's just the sun. I understand it hurts, but it's not supposed to kill us. You see, we're half vampire. So yes, it hurts, but eventually you'll learn to block out the pain. I did. I'm fairly certain you will as well. You are a strong, capable warrior. You'll figure something out. I know you will." He walked over back to the windowsill and started placing his hands slowly in the sunlight. Then his face, then the rest of his body. He took a deep breath and sighed. I said, "See, it's not that big of a deal. Are you happy?" He nodded. One of the first signs of confirmation, something I hadn't seen before. Then he pointed to Father out in the courtyard, fighting against multiple soldiers. Trainees is more like it. And it wasn't so much fighting to test and see their resolve. It was more of just to see if they were worthwhile. If he killed them, well, he had no more use for them. But if he managed to be bested by one of them, which that didn't happen, it was more of survival. If they survived long enough, he'd welcome them into the army. I don't trust that man. I never did. Some part of him must have seen this as bad, but I never got to see that part. And 8 is now a part of that problem. I didn't want this life for him, but I'm left no other choice. All the other subjects died of mysterious circumstances, and it's not something I relish the idea of 8 suffering through that same fate. I've tried to escape with every other sibling I have. I am doing everything in my power to protect him. I hope I'm doing well enough. If Father found out that I was failing, I had to find out why. I had to know what was going on, and if he was planning on doing something to us, to him. I said, listen, keep your distance from Father. He won't harm you. He'll probably call upon you, but if you keep your mouth shut, let me do any of the talking, you'll be fine. Granted, I don't think you could talk even if you tried. He then laughed. I hugged him immediately because that was one of the first signs that he was actually still alive and still fighting in some sense. I was so happy. I said, it's good to know that you're still human. At least part of you is, anyway. We're both strangers in a strange world. I want you to see that world. My question is, are you willing to come with me to the depths of death and back just for this chance? Please let me know. He nodded, then pointed outside. I said, don't worry. We'll get there soon enough. We'll have our time. And then we'll come back and make them pay for all they've done. Why did I say that? My intention was never to get revenge. It was just to get away. But I can't help but feel like that was part of it. Like I wanted revenge. I did. I really did. I wanted revenge and to make him suffer, to make Dalen suffer for all the pain he had brought me, all the suffering he had brought the world. I wanted him dead. I looked down and saw that there were more soldiers, 5 maybe, all dead on the ground, with 6 remaining, all their blades still sharpened and ready. He cut them down without a problem, then looked to his master of arms, for lack of a better word, more like a man to go and find unwilling subjects, and said, where did you find these? Malcolm, sir. Do not search there again. They very clearly did not offer any challenge at all. I could kill them in my sleep if I really wanted to. Yes, sir. I understand. I will search higher and lower than, well, anywhere. Just say the word and I will find you a recruit that is easily surpassable, maybe even to one of your children. He then smiled, looked at us. He knew exactly where we were, and he knew exactly what we were saying. At least I hope he didn't. He was just so terrifying and so imposing. I didn't want him to sit there and think that this is really the end. I wanted him to know it. I wanted him to know that he is tearing this family apart, and that I intend to leave and never come back. And if I happen to cross paths with him again, hopefully later down the line, I will gut him. I want him to feel my pain. I want him to feel every ounce of pain that I ever felt. My emotions were starting to show on my face. Aiden put his hand on my shoulder, then stared at me. bringing me back down from my high, for lack of a better word. I'm so sorry, I said. I'm just stressed. Please just understand I'm trying everything to protect you. I love you. You know that, right? He nodded, held out both his hands, and then hugged me. Something I never did for him. And yet, he knew that I needed him now more than ever. I said, "Don't you worry. I will die before I let any harm come to you."